Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, we're getting near to the point where mission accomplished can be declared, as the Fulanization agenda for the Nigerian state is entering its final stages. Guys, I bring you this: Giadom finally bows down, hands over to Governor Buni. So Giadom, of course, is the acting national chairman of the APC, the ruling party of Nigeria. I say the acting national chairman. He became the acting national chairman, of course, of that party within the last 2 weeks or so, but is now at that point in less than 2 weeks that he has had to hand over to Malami. So again, the headline: Giadom finally bows down, hands over to Governor Buni. So now let's see how this is being justified. An end seems to have come to the crisis rocking the ruling All Progressive Congress APC, as factional former acting national chairman of the party, Victor Giadom, officially handed over to the chairman of the party's caretaker committee, Governor Miamala Buni. Channels Television reported that the handing over ceremony was held on Monday, June 29, at the APC National Secretariat in Abuja, the nation's capital. It was gathered that Giadom, in his remarks, assured members of the committee of his readiness to support and work with them towards the realization of the party's goals. He also commended President Muhammadu Buhari and the leadership of the National Executive Committee (NEC) of the party for rescuing the party. A self-acclaimed former acting national chairman of the party, Victor Giadom, handed over to Governor Buni, sources said. Speaking during the handing over, Governor Buni appealed to aggrieved APC members with pending lawsuits to withdraw them. He said, "I urge all party members to heed the appeal of our leader, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, on his call to all aggrieved members who have instituted various cases in courts to please withdraw such cases in the interest of our great party." Buni, who is the Yobe state governor, said the happenings within the APC in the last few months were not totally strange in a big political party. He added that the internal disagreements were common in all political parties and that APC was not an exception. Governor Buni, who also inaugurated the 13-member committee, said, "It is time for this committee, therefore, to commence the process of true reconciliation amongst our leaders and members of the party at all levels. It is our belief that the decision of the NEC to constitute this committee will mark the beginning of a new chapter in our great party." Meanwhile, it had been previously reported that the APC began post-Adam Oshiomhole era as the new caretaker committee arrived at the party's national secretariat in Abuja on Monday, June 29, to hold its first meeting. It was reported that the committee, which was constituted after the dissolution of the National Working Committee, arrived APC secretariat on Monday, June 29. Apart from Governor Buni, who is the chairman, John Akpan Uduedege, Governor Alhaji Abubakar Sani Bello of Niger State, and Ken Nnamani, a former Senate president, have also arrived at the secretariat. The ousted and self-imposed factional chairman of the ruling party, Victor Giadom, will do the handover to the new committee. So now there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Fait accompli. Is it mission accomplished? I don't know. You determine. But we have Northerner Fulani president, the chairman of the ruling party Fulani, the Minister of Justice is Fulani, and Attorney General Fulani, joint position, Minister of Justice and Attorney General Fulani, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court Fulani, the Army Chief Fulani, the EFCC Chief Fulani, the NSI Fulani, the DSS, the chiefs, Fulani, the custom guy, Fulani. So now, what else is there? The chairman of the electoral body, Fulani. So we're talking about Fulanization agenda, as if it's something that is going to happen in the future. This is something that has already happened now. So now, just look at that mix. The president is a Fulani man, the chief justice is a Fulani man, the INEC chief is a Fulani man, the attorney general of the federation is a Fulani man, and the party chief is a Fulani man. And you are expecting power to transit to the southern regions in 2023. Whistle on. You can whistle in the wind, because these people have already perfected their own gameplay, and you are still there making noise and shouting Tinubu. Tinubu is a dunce, of course, and anybody with an IQ above 2 digits would know that Tinubu is a dunce. So if Tinubu is the most potent that the southern region can offer, and that is the only champion that they seem to have at the moment, then just forget it till eternity. These people will continue to rule you till kingdom come. So how are you going to go about it to wrestle power from them is the question. You say it's your turn in 2023. If they say no, then what would you do about it? So what are your options? You cannot take to the streets, because I forgot to add as well, the Inspector General of Police, of course, is a Fulani. So you cannot take to the streets. They'll quickly quell you down with the army and the police who belong to them. You cannot say you are going to do any election, because they'll quickly just write figures and declare themselves winner, because of course the chairman of INEC is a Fulani. You cannot then go to the law court, because the person that's going to present the law books, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, is a Fulani, and the person that is going to sit in judgment over that case is a Fulani. So you are completely surrounded, is effectively what is going on here. And that Fulanization agenda is fait accompli. It is not an agenda anymore. It's an actualization. It's an event. It's an occurrence. It is something that has happened. The southern regions, the Yoruba race and the Igbo race, they are subjects of the Fulanis. This is what the situation is now in Nigeria. This is the reality of the circumstances that we find ourselves within the Nigerian space. And if you have any thoughts to the contrary, then you need to get yourself, don't drive because you are not 100%. So get somebody to drive you to the nearest psychiatric unit and submit yourself to them, because you are not 100%. Because if you look at the landscape and you still think that you have any influence to sway anything within the Nigerian space, then really you are not 100% in the head, because all the writings are there. They are not even writings now, they are pictures placed right in front of your eyes for you to see. You are completely surrounded. The army, the police, the law, the presidency, the sovereign wealth, everything, the everybody, name anybody that is of relevance within the Nigerian space and is an Hausa Fulani man. So what is your way out is really where the question is. So they have perfected their own plan, and they have started the actualization, because this is now the one of the final nails now, because the final nail, of course, will be administered in 2023. Of course, in 2023, Malam Buhari cannot carry on, because not because he's unwilling, but because he's unable, because his health has debilitated to that point that he cannot really physically function past that point. Is completely weighed down both mentally and physically. But all of the hangers on, all the shadowy figures around him have mastered this plant already, and the next president of Nigeria is going to be a name that you're familiar with, and that name is Nasir Rufai. So this is not the guy that they are going to slot in now. He's a bit more articulate. He'll speak to you in softer tones. He'll even speak Yoruba a little bit and jolly you along. And if you don't want to be jollied along, he'll force himself upon you anyway, because there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So forget Tinubu completely, because if we continue to focus on this Tinubu thing, then we're missing a step. Because if we are focusing on Tinubu and deep down, and if you are off thinking, you know that Tinubu is not a real possible, because Tinubu is an absolute impossibility, you see, for anybody to countenance within the Nigerian space. Is deeply corrupt, is too dirty a politician, is too ingrained in the system. He doesn't represent any form of progression. He is really the face of the new age of the corrupt politicians within the Nigerian space. So Babangida was the face of the old corrupt, but Tinubu is the face of the new corrupt. So there's going to be absolutely nothing that Tinubu might be able to do a few things. I have to give him that, because he did do one or two things in Lagos, but the level of corruption counterweighs and weighs heavily against whatever pluses that he has on his side. So he's not even a possibility. The Yorubas don't really like him. I think you know that. The Igbos don't really care for him. I think you know that. And the Northerners distrust him. The only thing that makes his name continue to resonate is that he is the only likely person, and the Southerners want that power to come back to them in 2023. That is the only thing that is holding the Tinubu prominence, not because anybody especially cares for him. So the Southerners now need to abandon that Tinubu narrative, because it's only going to lead us to one destination, and that destination is a dead end. So Tinubu's narrative is a dead end. They would never ever handle. Tinubu is a bit like Abiola. There's just this element of distrust among the Northerners against him. As much as he tries to curry their favor, they just don't like him. And I'm not talking about the everyday Northerner, of course, because of course you remember Abiola won his elections, but the powers that be that make the decisions. And by the way, you don't even need me to tell you this. The people deciding who presides over the Nigerian state are nothing to do with the electorate. They're just a few Northerners in the core north somewhere. The Sultan of their region and few key politicians and some shadowy figures, etc. King Gibe amongst them, Issa Funtua, all these sort of names, the customs guy. These are the people who will decide who is going to be president, and the decisions being made now from the body language as they continue to put structures in place is to let you know that no power is transiting anywhere outside of the northern region. Conversations in the comment section, they have used him and dumped him. Victor Giadom I'm speaking about, of course, but that is nothing really new. The Fulanis now have this long history of using and dumping, and we the Southerners, we are willing tools. We're very quick to drop our trousers as soon as they request, and they have their way. We are going from Afonja, we are going through Tinubu to Awolowo, to Abiola, now to Victor Giadom. The story is endless. They just use and dump, and they've used this guy. So they've used him now to push Oshiomhole out, and they now got rid of him within 2 weeks. So you see now. So these people are ruthless and they're single-minded. Those are the two things that we're contending with as far as these Northerners are concerned. They are ruthless one. They will do anything to get their way, and they are single-minded. So they are ruthless and single-minded. They'll do anything to get their way, and they know what they want. So those two things are the most potent things that they have. You can't really go into the Northerners and divide them as you can easily come into the southern regions and divide us, because they are led by religion and culture, and we are led by greed and avarice. So two different mindsets, and now we continue to kid ourselves that the dumb Northerners, the uneducated Northerners, they are dumb, they are uneducated, but they've been ruling you now for going on 70 years. So who exactly is the idiot in that equation is really where the question is. So come give me your answers to that question in the comment section. But before you do that, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well. Click on the like button because that helps with the YouTube algorithm, you see. So once you've done all three, then come now tell me what you are making of these moves that the Northerners are making in the comment section. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here I say peace.